It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity, and today is groundbreaking in Poway. This is our beautiful home. You can see it up behind me, and all of this is theirs. Now, before you get excited, we aren't doing this back portion. We are phasing this project out. You will recognize it when we move forward. But for accessibility, we have to come through the backyard. So we had all of our boulders delivered from KRC Rock. This is six ton of boulder, about 6 ton of boulder. There are 30 of them here, ranging from a couple 100 pounds up to 900. Those will be moved via bobcat up to our point of installation. So I don't know. I mean, this is kind of steep, but Greg seems to think it's doable. He can pick up these rocks in the bucket of the bobcat and schlep them up this hill one at a time. So far, so easy, right? Then we get to the pathway. And the path is only about 3 feet wide, and our bobcat's 5 feet wide. So the guys have their shovels, and they are just taking the rock edging and pushing it aside. So we have to do this all the way through. Remember when we did the xeriscape here, guys? Last year? It's looking so stinking good. Everything is thriving up there. And eventually we will, get to the whole yard. But like I said, we're taking it kind of a piece at a time. So here we've got Ryan pulling little mini boulders, really like rubbles, out of the way so that we can have that accessibility for our equipment. It's got to come all the way down here. Keep going for days, right? And then we've got Kevin and Mel. They drew I see you two are working in the shade, and you left Ryan in the sun. Very nice. See, not their first rodeo, guys. Okay. Yes, and so you can see here where it's been opened up. Then Greg is going to come through with the equipment right through here. So this euphorbia will go. This is like a weed here, and they come up. Look at the sea of euphorbia. So don't cry about this plant. It's okay. There are plenty of friends all over the yard. Great pollinators too. Greg will come up through here, and this is our design space. So you can kind of see up there by that Petalanthus bracteatus, there's sort of almost looks like a game trail. We're gonna pop a few things in there, maybe some tough aloes or some agave blue flames or something to kind of, soften that up. All of the beautiful natives and whatnot over there on the slope is gonna stay. I like the softness on the slope. There's some celosia. It's a San Diego or California lilac that has done exceptionally well in this yard, and that is absolutely staying. Over here, here's some of it. You might notice that there's a lot of pine needles and pine cones because where was that pine tree? The guys came and took it out. They did such a good job. It's over there, yeah. There was a big pine tree right there that really wasn't doing anybody any favors and making a hot mess. So it's gone. Now we can get on with life without having to deal with this. So you can see that some plants were left down in here. Other things were cleared out. There was some bloomed out agaves and ugly stuff that we just pulled the plug on. So what I'm bringing in from Matt Jones from Jones Rare Roots in Brea is bringing me some beautiful specimens. Caesar from Sun Valley and Waterwise Botanicals are all delivering big plants. So this is going to be Not like anything we've ever done before, in that everything in this garden is gonna be really big. So very exciting. We also are not bringing in copious amounts of soil. You know, normally we mound and go from there, but this I'm calling the bowl, and you'll understand that better when we get up to the top. We don't need to mound. We may be bringing in some Kellogg's bagged soil to make sinking of these plants a little easier if we run into, I don't know, big roots. We've got a beautiful little oak tree right here that may have some roots that we don't want to upset. So anywho, we've got it all figured out. To the right of this path, we aren't messing with. This is God's country over here. You see a lot of mature tree, bush, brush. It's a great privacy screen. There's absolutely nothing wrong. It's beautiful from the house. It attracts and protects wildlife. It doesn't require any pruning or watering. It's just sustainable. So that stays. Also with the oak, we have a tremendous amount of detritus. So this area here also, we're not going to do a lot of heavy underplanting. You can see right now there's a lot of aloe nobilis. It looks like a gardener maybe took and popped in. That's a no. If anything, I would clump those all together. But yeah, we'll be planting, but it'll be soft things, that are easy to blow out leaves out of. And then we will be top dressing in here with stabilized decomposed granite. I'll be bringing in rubble, for color, and it'll be so great. As we head up the hill, you're probably starting to go, oh yeah, I remember this one, because this is phase 4 on this property. And here on the slope in our driveway phase, we did pop some things in, and I really love the succulents in here, don't you? I mean, they give it so much structure. It's really fantastic. And look at this incredible aloe. This was gifted by a favorite client of mine who passed away last year, Paula. It's kind of a mystery aloe, and she had so many of them, and she just potted them all up and gifted them to me. So I spread them all over, and this lucky client got 5 or 6 of them. Gorgeous plant. So over here on this phase, we are going to remove the rest of the grasses. Just, the client's over it. And oh my gosh, the rats, they love these. And last phase, when we did this part of the install, and we had our volunteer Jody here cleaning out detritus, and there was pee and rat poo, and it was just the worst. So the status, the sea lavender's coming out, all these grasses are coming out, and we are going to widen the burgundy 3/4 footprint in here a bit, and probably pop in a few more succulents or cacti, and just get this all completely dialed in. As for along the driveway here, with these upright portulacaria, we don't need plants. We're just going to weed fabric and extend the DG footprint and let this be our borrowed soft landscape. One anomaly to show you over here. So Amazon or some delivery person backed into our poor barrel cactus. And when I was here walking the property with the client, talking about this next phase, before the rains hit a week or so ago, it was looking like it was starting to rot. It had been kind of like a pumpkin, right? Like a Halloween pumpkin. It gets a hole poked in it and it starts to rot. So it was really soft and gross. I wasn't sure if it had snout weevil or, there was something else going on. So the client cleaned it out. And what it looks like to me is that it was a surface situation where the flesh did get punctured, rot did set in, but it looks like the roots are intact and the plant is intact otherwise. So we're going to try a little experiment. I'm going to bring some adhesive spray glue, yes, glue, and I'm going to spray this all with glue to seal it. and then I'm going to flip her around. So the ugly side is to the back, and we're going to see what happens. It should be very interesting to see what happens. So I'll keep you posted on that. All right. One more thing to show you. You may note as we move up the hill, there's something missing. Can you identify what is no longer here? I'll give you a hint. It's to my right. See that beautiful outcropping of Boulder? Remember there were 2 pine trees up there? Not anymore, they're gone. Yes. Somebody made a comment too on the Fullerton project. Where are the trees? There needs to be shade. Where are the trees in the desert? I don't think there has to be shade everywhere at all times. The Fullerton project, for example, they live in the backyard, which is very shady. The front yard, nobody's sitting out there. So, you know, we don't really need the shade there. Same with this. These trees were not providing shade. They were not providing privacy. They were serving no real purpose other than to just drop pine needles all over the place. You can see that there are a plethora of trees remaining in this, not only in this yard, but in this community. So we're going to be planting more trees of a succulent nature, like this beautiful Dracaena Draco. We're going to have aloe trees in our new installation as well. So trees, 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 just not messy ones. These trunks are going to be drilled out, and just like in a couple other presentations in the front, we're going to be planting the stumps with columnar cacti, which 100, it's going to look so good. We have this little area here that we're going to be irrigating. Hannah came in and planted a few beautiful little groupings of plants after our last phase, and which was this xeriscape. And right now we have a lot of narcissus coming up. See there? It's February, it's full spring here in San Diego, and the narcissus are in full bloom. And those will leave on their own when they're done blooming, and then come back again next winter. So the xeriscape is doing really, really well. We're very, very pleased, and very eager to take you along on this next and most exciting phase. Yeah, and be sure and follow on Instagram for daily updates at Laura Loves Succulents. We shall see you there.